Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another webinar from A Place in the Sun as part of our month-long digital event. It's good of you to join us. We do appreciate your time and your interest. So this afternoon, we are property hunting on the South Costa Blanca, courtesy of local estate agent 24/7 Casas, also known as Easy Ads. And I'm delighted to be joined by Mark Busson and David Robbins of 24/7 Casas. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Andy.
How are we doing? How are you, David?
Very good.
Enjoying the sunshine.
It's very hot out there.
What temperature do you have today?
28.
28, that's nice.
And blue skies.
So tell us a little bit, David, about the business. Where are you based, and primarily what sort of sector of the market do you operate in?
Okay, so we're based in a place called Lasenia, which is in the southern Costa Blanca. We call it the Orihuela Costa, which is approximately 45 minutes drive from Alicante Airport south, and about 35 minutes drive from a new airport in the Murcian region called Cabrera. But we as a company, we use this as a head office. We have a big head office here with 25 or so of us working here, but we operate all over Spain. Wherever any of our clients want to be, then we can certainly help them. We have at the moment...
Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to say we have on our website 24/7 Casas, we have over 17,000 properties. That's going up daily. We deal with over 500 collaborating agents, which is going up to 3,000. So we're looking at 300,000 properties eventually on our website. So it's really growing. And in these COVID times, we're very fortunate and we're very busy. So that's really good.
That's good to hear. And David, the British market, British buyers, that's an important tranche of business for you, I guess.
Yes, I mean, we deal with every nationality. We have multilingual staff here, so whether they're Swedish, Norwegians, French, Italian, we're having a big mixture. We've had an interest in the French market lately. The other thing we are doing is advertising on 160 portals. So that's all over Europe, and we have a team of sales support that are constantly busy with the inquiries coming in. So it's certainly keeping us busy. The British market, we're still selling to lots of British, which is good. We know when they do come over through these sort of awkward times, then we know they're actually serious. So, we're here to do whatever we can.
Yeah, we should explain that Mark and David are both in their work bubble, which permits them to be sat so intimately on this afternoon's webinar.
Don't tell everybody.
Mark, Mark, what's a typical sort of inspection trip then with a client? Let's just talk our audience through what you might do for somebody who contacts your agency and decides to come out and take a look at a number of properties.
Yeah. What we'll do, Andy, is we offer different types of inspection trips. We do a subsidised inspection trip, and the cost on those will be from 250 up to 150.
Well, we've actually reduced now. I did an inspection trip last week, and we're charging now €99 per person.
So what we'll do with the inspection trip is actually meet the clients at the airport, obviously take them around all the properties, give them one of the most important things for people who've never been here is it's not just about the houses, it's about the locations as well. So when people book on the inspection trips, it gives us a real good opportunity to really focus on the locations as well as the properties. We got a little bit more time with people. The inspection trips are generally over 3 to 4 days. We try to do them sort of midweek so we can make sure everything's open, but appreciate that some people are working and can only get out on weekends, and we can do that as well. We just got to pre-book everything. We also do a cashback inspection trip, which means obviously we'll do all the same services, but it won't be subsidised, and you'll find your own accommodation and flights. But should we find you the property that you're looking for, then we'll give you a cashback. Depending on the value of the property, up to 250. It's basically about covering the costs of the flights. However, with the new build, when somebody comes on an inspection trip with a new build, we can offer a cashback up to €3,000. So this makes it all the expenses of taxes, normally the legal fees and everything will be within that price. So it's a good cashback that we can do on the new builds if people are dealing exclusively with us on an inspection trip. So it's a low cost way of getting out and having all the help that you could possibly need, from the searches to the legal side of things. We can cover every angle to make a process that people may not be used to as easy as possible. That's the whole idea of how we set the business up.
Okay, David, we've got, just give us an overview of the 3 different properties we're going to be looking at today in terms of budget, without going into detail, because we're going to have a proper look round them. But what have we got to look at today?
Well, we're going to look at one in a place called Los Balcones, which is very close to the coast. In fact, I've been living in Los Balcones for 16 years or so now. The reason I picked this property is because it's under £100,000, and to get a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, townhouse in that area is quite difficult. So that's why I choose that. Although we've got over 17,000 properties, you know, it was a good one to show. And it's in a very good location as well.
So yeah, that one's just a touch under €108,000. So yeah, just under £100,000. Okay, and that's your townhouse. And then what else are we looking at today?
Well, Mark is going to be talking you through 2 new builds.
We've got some apartments which are very close to the coastline in Torre da Horadada. They're literally 3 to 400 meters from the coast, the shop, bars and restaurants, and they're a great entry price for a new build. We've got 35 bungalow style. The bungalow in Spain is an apartment in the UK, a 2-story building. So we've got ground floor and first floor properties there, off plan and new build, and some of them are actually key ready as well, which helps. And then the second one I'll be talking to you about is a detached villa, which is still only 7 kilometers from the coast. It's very close to all of the golf courses. You can see from the map there, there's the green areas are actually golf courses, and there's another one which is just off of the map, which is another golf course. So you've got 4 golf courses which are all very close to Villa Martin, as well as, yeah, you've got it right there, Andy. That's the furthest one away is Las Colinas Golf and Country Club, and that's actually won awards for the last few years as the best residential golf course in Spain. So not just the golf, obviously, we've got commercial and we've got the coast very close to these villas, which is why that area has been so very popular.
Okay, great. Well, let's jump in and take a look at this first property then. Rather than these being films or recordings that we used on some of the other webinars, David, they're a technology called Matterport that you're using on your website.
Before you start, Andy, yes, this is state of the art. We've had it for about a year now. We have a number of these cameras. And one thing that's very, very difficult to find in Spain on resale properties is measurements and plans. So what this does, I don't know if you can scroll up a little bit.
Where do you want me to look at a floor plan?
That's the one.
Yeah, you've got floor plans there. It's like a doll's house, so you can look at all the different floor plans. And we've also, on it, there's a measurement tool. So if you see a property that has this video, then you can see, right, I've got a sofa I'd like to bring out. Would it fit in this particular property? So as I say, it's so difficult for resale properties to get floor plans.
Okay, so I now seem to have misplaced that property. Let's see where we are. Okay, here we are.
Before we start, then, Andy, this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom townhouse. As I said, it's in Los Balcones. On our website, it explains how far everything is. It's walking distance to the shops. It's 5 minutes from my house. Not that that's a good thing. And 2 other staff live very close to it. And on the right-hand side, where you can see the greenery, that leads down to the natural lake of Torre Vieja. So it's a good outlook from the terraced area. and there's just one villa over the other side. So you can walk, you've got supermarkets close, you've got a big hospital walking distance, you've got the beaches, less than, well, 5 to 10 minutes drive, big supermarket just up the road, local bars, a pharmacy, commercial centre. So this is the reason I picked this, because I just think for where it is and for a townhouse and £100,000, and especially given 3-bedroom and 2-bathroom, I think it's a really good price.
And it's this corner one that we're talking about, yeah?
Yes, it's a corner one, yes.
Okay. So how far from the centre of Torrevieja would this be?
You're talking about less than 10 minutes drive to the centre of Torrevieja. So this is the dining area. The property comes fully furnished, which the majority of resale properties do in Spain. I think if this was my property, maybe I'll get a lighter sofa. Maybe some of the audience would agree, but it comes with air conditioning, hot and cold air. But with the furniture, it's something to start off with. People just normally take their personal items.
Yeah, that's a good size room then.
Yes, it is. It's an 80 square metre property on a 110 square metre plot. This is a separate kitchen. It comes fully equipped with the hob oven, extractor fan, fridge, freezer, and everything pretty much you see, apart, again, any personal things. This has been lived in, so that's why you can see that, you know, there's a few things lying around. On the ground floor, you have a small toilet. And then going up the stairs, nice, lovely marble stairs. And when you get to the top, it does have a lovely open fill. This is what I would call the 3rd bedroom. Some people like it, they've used it as a bedroom, but it could be nice for an office. Has a nice back window there with a nice view out. And then coming back into the hall, you have the 2nd bedroom. Nice views from those bedroom windows as well. White aluminium, double glazed grills, so you can have everything open. And then back out into the hallway, and then you come into the main bedroom. You've got fitted wardrobes. You know, it's not everybody's cup of tea, the furniture, but it's certainly something to start off with and change things as you go along. And then the beauty of this property, which you'll see shortly, is when you walk up some more stairs up into the roof terrace or solarium, as we say in Spain.
How old would this building be? Have you any idea of that?
It's around 20 years, this one. But as I say, for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in this area, you know, that's why, and it's in very good condition as well. And then when you get up to the top here, you've got the all-day sun, you can have another room, tables, chairs, and you have fantastic views of the lake. In fact, the pictures don't really do it justice, but it's great, great views. And you're not surrounded by other
private solarium then, yeah?
Side.
See the sunset from the roof there.
Yeah. Right? You've got everything up there, and then you've got quite a good outside space, 110 square meters. So again, you can see the owners have had a table and chairs there. And then you have, which is very important, a community pool, which is just a few minutes walk up from the property.
Do you have an estimation of what communal fees might be?
Right, the community fees on this property are €300 a year. And what we call SUMA, which is the council tax, is €198. So under €500, that covers your cost for the property per year. And I know a lot of people in the UK are paying that a month. So that seems to be on average for community fees, 400, 500, 300, 400, 500, depending. So it's very reasonable.
And that includes upkeep of the pool?
Yes, keeps all the upkeep of the pool. It's cleaned all the time throughout the year. They do sometimes have times when you can use it, whether that's 9 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the evening. So they all vary in different areas.
Right. Okay. Well, if anybody would like to ask questions today of David and Mark and any of the properties that we see, do click the Q&A icon. Depending on your device, it may be at the top or bottom of your screen. Ping those over to me and I will put your questions to them. Doris Henderson has asked, looking out from the terrace towards the lake, what are the chances of being buildings added between the top of there and the lake?
No, I mean, in this area, it's so close to the lake, you can't build anymore. There's so many restrictions. As you get further to the lake, they've built a children's area, but then they've got to be very careful with the soft marsh. So it's all round the lake as well. There's restrictions. Over on the other side of the lake in El Raso, then if anybody knows that area, then you can build again up to a certain borderline, so they don't go too much to the lake. And of course, a lot of it's protected as well.
Okay. Julie Brown is asking about the proliferation of security grills, but they're a fairly standard feature in Spain, aren't they?
Yes, in Spain, Julie, yes, it's you find most properties come with grills, so it makes people feel safe. I mean, they can just sleep with their windows open. It's just a lot of people do ask that question, but it's just standard in Spain. The majority of grills, especially with second-hand homes.
I think the tradition goes back to the days before air conditioning.
Yeah.
So people could open all the windows in the house and still be secure. More from wildlife than anything else.
Okay. And Andrew Layton's asking, how big's the pool? Do you know that?
That's a very good question. That could be my homework later. I can soon find that out. But I don't
we'll find out for you, Andrew. And it's worth saying that you can get in touch with the guys if you head on over to a place in the sun digital.co.uk. Under the Meet Our Exhibitors section, the company is called 24/7 Casas, and you can message them there. You can book a Zoom meeting, and I'm sure you can go directly to their own website as well. Paul Owen is asking about purchase costs associated with that type of property. Typically, what would you tell somebody to budget for the equivalent of stamp duty, taxes, lawyers' fees, that sort of stuff?
It's quite simple, really. In this area, like for example in Los Balcones, Murcia regions have different taxes, but it's 10%. Andy, was it? 10%, Andy, and then you add on 2,500–3,000 euros on top of that for legal fees, notary, land register, and things like that. It can be boosted up if people want to do power of attorney. And that's one good thing with our company. We do an end-to-end solution. So if anybody comes in, we can help them buy their dream home. If anybody out there lives in the area, if they want it listed, we can do it with our special camera. We have a rental department. There is a legal department. They are a separate company, but they work downstairs. They're all here waving, actually. And we find it's a great end-to-end solution. So, that works really well. But okay. Yes, it's 10% tax.
And Peter Stanley is asking about transport links for non-drivers from the airport to that location.
Right, so this location of Los Balcones, if you're coming into Alicante Airport, there are bus services that take you straight in. It stops at Guadalmar. It goes into Torrevieja.
They're hourly, by the way, from the airport to Torrevieja.
And then you can get a connecting bus from Torrevieja to the local urbanizations in the Orihuela Costa. Well, Los Balcones is actually on the edge of Orihuela Costa and Torrevieja. So, and there's bus services. It's one of the old established areas as well. So you've got a great feel of many palm trees, and I've been living there 16 years, so it's not that bad.
Right. And Spencer Bushby asks, how long is that drive how long is the drive to Alicante?
45, to the city an hour, 45 minutes to the airport.
Okay, and how far is the property from the beach, asks Jeff Hunt.
Well, you have got if I was driving there, ourselves, we go to a beach called Cala Capitan, which is probably less than 15 minutes drive, but there's many beaches along the Orihuela Costa. There's plenty in Torrevieja. You have Punta Prima Beach, Lasenia Beach, Cabarroi Beach, Campermore Beach. People get their favourites, but they're all within 15 minutes drive, but you can certainly get 1 to 5 minutes drive. You can walk it. I know some people walk it, but the only problem is walking is if you take in your cool box, your umbrellas, your tables, your chairs, most people would take a car.
Okay. And Steve Shelton was just asking for clarification of what is the equivalent of stamp duty?
Right. Well,
yeah, stamp duty really in Spain we've got in the UK on resale properties in Spain it's 10% tax. Stamp duty only comes into play with new properties, new build properties. It's called an AJD. It varies from region to region, but I can get into that when we talk about the new builds.
The new build property.
For the resale properties, the one we just viewed, it's 10% tax. And then obviously you've got your legal fees, notary fees. We bunch them into a bundle and they come to between €3,000 and €3,500. So expenses on resales, 10% tax, and up to about €3,500 for your legal fees, connection charges, all those hidden little extras.
If anybody wants to contact us, then we can send all the attachments with all the fees, etc., and it could be broken down what everything costs.
Okay, and two people are asking how many properties get to share that pool. Do you know how many apartments have access to the communal facilities?
Again, I can find that out. I don't know exactly how many properties, but they do calculate it on the amount of properties that are built and then to build the pool. They're not going to build, if there's many properties sharing that, they're not going to build a small pool. So it is generally calculated with the builders, and the same as like new builds as well.
Okay. Good stuff. All right, let's move on to property number 2. Tell us a little bit about this one, if you would.
Okay, this is a development of 35 apartments. We've got ground floor and first floor. Ground floor, a 2-bed, 2-bath, and the top floor is a 2-bed, 1-bath. The reason that that ground floor's got an extra bathroom is that really the staircase going up to the solarium, underneath that on the ground floor is the extra bathroom. The development is in Torre de la Horadada, which is about 300 to 400 metres from the coastline. So it's in a fantastic location to walk to the beaches, but on the way down to the beaches, you've also got lots of shops, bars and restaurants. So the development has proved to be very, very popular because of the location and the price. Generally speaking, these style apartments this close to the coastline will be an extra 20% more expensive, which is why this development has been it's been selling as well as it has.
And how much is this one then, Mark?
We're looking at a top floor. The virtual one we got for a top floor is 149,900, but we do have also ground floor apartments going from 139,900. That's in euros. So while we're talking about that, I can answer your other guys' question about the stamp duty. Because on these, we've got a 10% tax, which is exactly the same as you would pay on a resale. But also on completion, you would pay 1.5% AJD. Now, what that is the Spanish stamp duty. It was introduced into Spain because many people were buying properties off plan. It wasn't built for a year later, and they were 20% more expensive than when they bought them. So the government, as the governments tend to do, have brought in the rule that allows for that increase in equity, which you only pay on completion.
Okay.
So that sort of answers your guys' question about the stamp duty as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for Anne's benefit, Anne Conlon said, I'm so sorry, I missed the start. What was the price of the first property? Well, that was €108,000, Anne, and this one is 149 for the lower floor and 139 for the top floor. So let's take a look and you talk us through this one then, Mark.
Yeah, the communal green area is shared with 35 people. So that, just to put that in perspective. So we're walking into the lounge. What you'll get in the price is all the fitted cupboards in the kitchen, etc. This company does do furniture packs as well, reasonably priced. The kitchen comes fitted with all the wardrobes and work surfaces. If you can just pause it there, please, Andy. So the kitchen appliances would be the fridge freezer, the oven hob extractor, the dishwasher and the washing machine. They're not included in the price, but all the installation points are. And this developer will do a package for all those items, and they're actually throwing in a 50-inch flat screen TV for €2,000. So that's all the kitchen appliances and a 50-inch flat screen TV for €2,000. So that's the kitchen. You can carry on now, please, Andy. So it's pretty much open plan in the kitchen and the lounge, and then we're going into the bedrooms. You've got your fitted wardrobes. And also you notice on the windows, there's shutters that you roll down, which gives you the daytime siesta, which is great. Also, you'll notice some vents above the door. Now that's your pre-installation for air conditioning, ducted air conditioning. The bathrooms will come completely fitted as you see them, without the towels, etc. And this is a top floor, so it's a one bathroom. The ground floor actually has two bathrooms. Then we go into the second bedroom. And again, it might be because people are not in this country that this developer for 1,800 will do an accessories package. So that'll be all your linens, all your cutleries, pots, pans, kettles, everything. And it's about 1,800 euros. Then we have the staircase going up to, why the top floors are as popular as they are, the rooftop solarium. So obviously from that point, you can see around the area, there is some strict build restrictions. You've got no tall buildings because the build height is restricted to 2 floors plus a solarium. The communal area includes a swimming pool, but this was all being done when we went there and filmed this. And just around the corner, there's going to be a paddle court and also a children's play area. We don't know what the community fee here is at the moment because the community has not been formed. That'll happen when everything has been completed and sold. But it's approximately going to be about 400 euros per year. That'll be for the community fee. And just explaining that, why do you pay for that? Well, you own, every house in that community owns a part of that pool and green area. That's why you pay for the upkeep on it. Very reasonable. It's going to be, again, it'll be around about 30 to 40 euros per month. And then the next cost will be the SUMA. The SUMA, as Dave said, would be your local taxes. And on a 2-bed, 2-bath apartment in this area, it's around about 220 euros per year.
A couple of questions coming in about kind of the age group of people who might live in these particular areas. Is it popular with retired British communities or younger families, or is there a mix?
You've got a real mixture, Andy. For example, obviously it's going to appeal to the retired person because of the climate. And if you've got a ground floor on one of these, you've got no steps to worry about. So that can be a help for the older generation. But also, because of the facilities in the area, the proximity to the airports, the proximity to the coastline and the infrastructure, like shops, bars and restaurants, proven popular with all the age groups. So you also got families with children who are buying here. And it's like a League of Nations as well. You know, it's not just British, it's not just Spanish, it's not just German, it's a mixture of everything. We've got Scandinavians, French, Belgians, Germans, English, Spanish, all buying properties on these style of developments. So your neighbours will be a very much a modern European feel.
Do you find that most of your buyers are picking up a holiday home, a second home, or are a number of them relocating?
It's a real mixture. Last week I did an inspection trip with a single lady, and she's had enough and she sold out. I've been talking to her all through lockdown. She's now sold her property. She came out last week and I found her a ground floor apartment which suited her, and she's coming out to complete very soon, on the 2nd of October, I think. So a mixture, holiday homes. And one other great thing about this area, if I may just add, is it's a fantastic area for rentals because we have so few hotels. So that's really important. And, you know, if people are looking to buy to rent, then it's fantastic in this area. And we have many attractions here. I'm sure I don't have time to go through them, but for families, we have many attractions here in this area. And one other point I just want to quickly mention is in 2006, the World Health Organization said that this is one of the healthiest places in the world to live, and that's to do with the 2 large salt lagoons we have and the all-round high temperatures. So anybody with asthma, arthritis, rheumatism, then it's a fantastic area for that. That's why we have a lot of people from Norway, Sweden, and the cold countries coming to this area now because they seem to suffer. And also just down the road, not too far from the property Mark was explaining, we have some mud baths. So anybody with skin disorders is great to go and wash yourself in some mud, and that's all free of charge.
Interestingly enough, Andy, they've actually said that it gives you on average 10 years more lifespan if you live in these regions because of diet and climate. However, if you're a smoker and a drinker, that takes 10 years off. So if you want to balance the books up, it's a good place to come and live.
You're not selling properties, you're selling a decade of extra life. Well, that is quite a...
It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
Well, we've been here over 20 years.
And that explains your youthful, rude...
yeah, he's 80 and I'm 70,
yeah,
so there
yeah,
you go. We're doing okay.
Yeah. I'm doing all right for 80, I think.
We have a question in from somebody who's watching as a wheelchair user. How accessible would that ground floor apartment be? How disabled friendly would it be?
Yeah, one of the things we would always do in these situations is obviously before we would recommend anything for somebody who's in a wheelchair or disabled in any way, is we go and obviously check it out as far as the specifications are concerned for wheelchair access as well. With this development, it's a little bit more different than other developments because we have, it was a pre-existing shell of a building that was stopped a long time ago, and then this year they've gone in to finish them off. So the spec is from quite a while ago. Spec on a lot of the other new builds would allow for wheelchair access and entryways, wide doors, ramps, etc. It's part of the laws in Spain now. But for sure, if anybody's got a specific question like that, we'd be very happy to go out there and film it, show it to you guys to see what it looks like.
Okay. And with new build properties, have you got experience of this new term that's kicking around, a COVID contract? Are you working with any of the developers on that basis? Any of them?
What was that? Sorry, Andy, I didn't miss
COVID contract.
COVID contract. So any of the developers getting into that at the moment, whereby there are...
Do you know what, Andy? Everybody now in this market is going to be a little bit more flexible than they would be any other time. So if anybody's got any sort of questions like that, we'll be happy to be able to sort things out. As far as the developers are concerned, we work with and have contracts with over 100, not just in this location, but up and down the coast in Spain and inland. So they're all going to be a little bit flexible and open to new ways of doing business. And some of those developers will, of course, be happy to do a deposit down now, and then wait until you come out and see it. If you don't like it, you get your money back. That's pretty much the COVID contract. It's flexible in lots of different ways, but it depends on the developer that we're working with.
Okay, good, thank you. So we've had 108,000 euros, 149,000 euros, and now we're taking a step up, aren't we, Mark?
Yeah, we're going to go and have a look at a detached villa. Now, the area is Villa Martin. Anybody who knows this location will know Villa Martin as a name because it's got a famous golf course on it. We're only about, if we put a 7-kilometre circle around this house and the location, we would take in the coast, we would take in the Zenia Boulevard and lots of other infrastructure as far as bars and restaurants, and also 4 golf resorts. So when I say golf resorts, people don't play golf, but a lot of people will rent their properties out. Now, one of the things that's easy to do when rentals come to is summertime rentals are easy to attain. But if you've got golf courses close to you, the wintertime rentals are a very good lucrative market as well. So this would be in an ideal position for that, but also as a full-time home or as a fantastic holiday home. The villa is independent. What you're looking at there is a slightly larger plot than normal because it's on a corner. Generally speaking, the plots are from 250 square meters. The swimming pool, which is 3 by 5 meters, will be included in the price, plus all of the terracing that you see, all of the tiling, the entrance gates, the perimeter walls are all included in the price. They'll even put a couple of palm trees in if the space allows. And these properties are actually on the market from 299. Now, being off plan, they do have a couple that are key ready, but as I mentioned before, they're off plan as well. Now, what you can do, if we could just pause it just there, please, Andy. We're looking at a wall just off of the lounge there. That could come out, that's one of the bedrooms. One of the things the developer will do is, if you don't want the bedroom on the ground floor, you'd rather have that as a dining area, that wall could come out and you'd be able to turn that into a dining room or an office or whatever you wish. Also, because if it's not built yet, you can choose your tiles, you can choose your kitchen units, your work surfaces, the colour of the accessories and tiles in the bathrooms. So there's a lot more flexibility if it's off plan. If it's key ready, then all that stuff's already going to be in place. They might be able to change a couple of bits and pieces, but it generally stays as is. Okay, Andy, like to carry on. So we're swinging around to the kitchen. Again, choice of colours. You can choose all the colour choices with tiles, as long as you don't go for over budget. Like if you want gold fleck tiles, you might have to pay a bit extra. But they have a choice of 7 or 8 different designs, which you can choose from. Downstairs, we've got the bedroom. This is the bedroom that I said that you can have the wall taken out of and have it into a larger lounge area if you so desire. It's also got an ensuite shower room on the ground floor, which we had a quick look at. The bathrooms on these properties come with underfloor heating. All of the equipment that you see in the bathrooms are included in the price, including the shower screens, vanity units, mirrors, lighting, etc. So we're on the first floor now. The 2 bedrooms on the first floor both lead out onto the terrace overlooking the pool. Both have fitted wardrobes, ducted air conditioning running throughout the property. This developer is pre-installed. So that means all of the ducting is done, all the wiring is done. You just need to purchase the units, which you can get from about €2,500 each for a very good one. And then we have the master bedroom. Obviously a little bit larger, big double doors going out onto the terrace. And the other thing to bear in mind with the shutters on these, there's no blinds that you pull down. They're all electric shutters on all of the windows. So you haven't got to wind anything down. You just push a button and down come the shutters. And then we're going to go out into the hallway, the third bathroom, obviously en suite to the master. The terrace. Looking around, you'll see that this location, there's a lot of land to the side of it. That land won't get built on, but as we swing around, we see the lakes of Torrevieja, which Dave was talking about earlier on with the resales. So we're in great proximity, close to everything. And the rooftop solarium, it is what you want to do with it. That's an external staircase that will take you upstairs. You can have summer kitchens put up there. It's a place with great view, lots of open space, and opens your imagination what you'd like to do. I've even seen people up there have televisions and all sorts of stuff, cinema rooms. So it's an exciting prospect to do what you want with that open space. And obviously great views, sunrise and sunset from up there. And again, the plots will change on these. They start from 250, but they go up to 350, which is why when we say the price is €299,000, that's the starting price. Because if the plot is bigger, then it will cost a little bit more. Another option with these style villas is an underbuild. Because they're being built on a hillside, they have to have at least a 1 metre air chamber underneath them to allow for air circulation. But when they're on a hillside, sometimes they've got to go down 2 or 3 metres. So what they can offer an extra cost of anywhere from 20 to 30,000 euros is a full-on underbuild of 90 square metres, and it can be left as a basic, just plastered walls and concrete floor, or they can finish it off, plastered, tiled, air-conditioned, and bedroom, bathroom, etc. All with extra costs, of course. For example, an extra bathroom and bedroom in one of these in the basement would cost an extra 8,000 euros. Okay, I think that covers that one.
Good, thank you. A question in about utility bills in general. How do they compare to utility bills in the UK?
Well, you pay your electricity monthly, you pay your water every 3 months. My last water bill was €70. Electric bill, what you got, a villa? So
yeah, I have a wife and 2 young children. The electric, it works out around 100, 110 euros a month, depending on the time of year. I mean, obviously we're not using any heating this time of year. I do have air conditioning, but to be honest with you, I don't use it. I keep all the windows open and get that sort of sea breeze. So that certainly helps. But on average, about 110 a month. And it, you know, everybody understands if you use the air conditioning, that will put your bill up. Water's very cheap here. And it's funny when you go round, and if I'm showing a property to any of our clients, I might say to the owners, you know, what's your bills here? And a lot of people don't seem to know because they're, you know, they're very cheap. So yeah, but the electrics is as much as you use. Of course, water is, but water is very cheap here.
They're all set up on standing orders for your banks.
Okay, a question in from Andrew Patnick about, I think it means Campus Sol as a good place to buy. We like to address everything on here, all questions. He's asking about problems with flooding and rains and that kind of stuff. But,
Yeah,
well,
I'll let Mark answer this one.
Well, I was
trying to
actually,
be honest all the time.
as we've said, we work up and down the coast. I was in Campus Sol recently looking at some new builds right on the beach. Beautiful location, beautiful place to be, looking at the sea. But then there's another part of Campus Sol which was built as a huge development where there's been problems, and we as a company don't promote there. Not saying that everybody's got a terrible property there, but there is problems that we've, as your clients mentioned, with flooding and with some substruction, some subsidence with structures as well. So I was looking up recently about what the latest thing was down there, because we keep getting inquiries for there because it's so cheap. But unfortunately, in this case, cheap for a reason. Again, the only way that I would say it was safe to purchase there would be to get yourself out there and have a look around those areas. We don't feel comfortable promoting that area.
There's certain
unless
sites.
it's right on the coast, and then it's got nothing to do with that area, and they're different developers, etc.
Okay. Getting quite a few questions in about residency and Brexit, which we're not looking to cover in this session. We did do our Spain property masterclass a couple of Saturdays ago. And if you head over to a place in the sun digital.co.uk and look at the hub webinars, then all the recordings of all the webinars that we've run are on that page. And there was some specifically there on residency. The short answer is you might have a very little tight window now to turn it around, but head on over there and check out the webinars on our website. Peter Stanley asks about bus transport to from and around Villa Martin. Mark.
Yes, an established area because of the golf course and the build-up of property around there from the 70s onwards. It's an established area. There's actually 2 bus routes that run around the Orwell Costa. Winter time, they're about one every 1.5 to 2 hours. Summertime, they run about every hour.
Okay. And it is worth just adding the caveat to what I was saying about Brexit for amongst other questioners, Edmund White. If you're looking at a holiday home, then not that much is going to change. It's only really the residency deadline and then what regime will be coming in after that. You might.
I think there's a caveat on that. I think that the thing to remember is that at the end of the day, there's an awful lot of Brits that spend their time and have property in Spain. And there's going to be an awful lot of Spanish that are going to spend time and have property in the UK.
Yeah.
So we don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be reciprocal.
Yeah. Steve Shelton asks about insurance costs.
House insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can vary.
The buildings and contents, how do they compare to the UK?
The house and contents.
Building contents.
Depending on the type of property, I'm trying to think what I pay. Again, it's typical. I think 120, 150 euros I pay, I think.
Why don't we suggest that Steve gets in touch with you directly?
Yes, yeah, we can give. I'd like to give a more accurate figure on that,
sure.
To be honest with you, Steve.
So if you head over to our event website, this is the page where you signed up to the webinars. This is our Meet the Exhibitors page for Spain. And here is 24/7 Casas. If you click on their page, there's some information about the company. You can book a Zoom meeting with the guys here. Just click on a time, put in your name and email address, tick that box, and you will book an appointment which will be confirmed for Zoom. If you just want to chat with them, then there's a box down here. You can even go onto Instant Messenger. There's a live chat function there. You can just chat with them and ask questions if you want to go on that page and interact with the guys. So let's move on to our poll. We've seen 3 properties, 3 different budgets. We're now going to ask a question: which one would you buy? So let's imagine this is your own money and you're putting your own money where your mouth is. So we have 3 properties to choose from. Here we go. For people watching this on a recording, unfortunately Zoom doesn't record these polls. So we have shown a poll at this point. We're showing the house in Los Balcones for 108,000 euros, the apartment in Torre de la Horadada at 149,000 euros, and the villa in Villa Martin for 299,000 euros. And let's see what people go for there. Wow.
Yes.
I've got to buy him a cup of tea now.
Mark, you need
well
to...
done, everybody. Thank you. No, that's why I did choose that property as I don't want to repeat myself. We have over 17,000 properties, and I thought for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in Los Balcones, I think it's really good value for money, and being a corner, etc., and close to everywhere. So. Yeah.
So Mark's going to spend the rest of the afternoon working on his pitch, yeah?
You got it. I've obviously got a lot to learn still.
We'll probably go to the beach now and have a beer. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, not buying.
And final question in, because it does come in quite often. What is your view? I know it's only a view, and nobody has a crystal ball. Your view on property prices in the next few months or in the next year? Is this question?
Yeah, I mean, last year in this area, it does vary from area to area, but we know on the coastal here, they went up between around 10%. Even during these COVID times, there are some reductions out there. I mean, if anybody's got financial problems, obviously, one of the first things they're going to think about, to get rid of is their holiday home. But it's not like the crisis of 2008. Where everything dropped and everything went pear-shaped for a lot of people all over the world. Here it's, people are just getting on with it. As I say, there are reductions in properties, but with...
I think what we're finding at the moment is the prices haven't changed that much, but people's ability to negotiate has changed a little bit. So they're a bit more willing to listen to an offer. And that's also with the new build. One thing we've never had with the new build has always been that's the price and that's what you pay. But we're even finding that these guys are negotiating now. We recently got a real good reduction on a brand new villa, which we wouldn't have been able to get 6 months ago. So that's how it's changing a little bit at this stage. Prices themselves might go down a little bit, but that's not going to be reflected until in a few months' time if it carries on.
They do vary the new builds. I sold a new build last week, a ground floor apartment in a place called La Florida, really nice area, and the builder wouldn't budge on anything. But what they did do is the lady can move straight away in, fully furnished, white goods, everything, air conditioning, ready to go. So
even if we can negotiate on the price, we can certainly negotiate on the packages.
Yeah.
And I guess it's always it's always rung true this presenting yourself as a ready buyer. If you're good to go, then you're in a much stronger position, aren't you?
One thing I'd like to just mention to everybody is, and it's only because we see hundreds of clients making the mistake, is if you do come out, you don't need to use lots of different agents to show your properties. Here we all collaborate with each other, so it's a bit different than the UK and other countries. So I have clients, Mark has clients, we've been talking to them for a while, they see a property with another company, then as long as they haven't contacted them or registered with them, we can show that property. So that can save a lot of wasted time. So especially if you're only here for, say, a week, because you can book up with one company in the morning, then the afternoon, then tomorrow morning, and you go round in circles. Trust me, you just go round in circles, probably get shown the same property 2 or 3 times. So just a bit of advice for anybody watching. You don't need to use multiple agencies because we all collaborate, which works well here.
Good. All right. Well, thank you for your time this afternoon, gents, and thank you to our audience for tuning in. I think that was nice to see that technology in action, that Matterport 360 camera platform.
The boss would be glad to know that's working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can just play and you can zoom around and take measurements, and yeah, it's a great tool. It's a great.
Yep. And we've had a couple of people messaging in saying thanks. This type of webinar is really useful and makes it very real. Thank you for that, Angela. Okay, thank you, David. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, you're welcome.
Guys, have a great day.
If anybody wants to join us on Lasagna Beach, you're more than welcome.